Tuesday night win over UTRGV for Tarleton State. Meanwhile, Utah Valley getting the bye into the quarterfinals, looking for their first trip to the WAC semis since 2019. They have never made it past the WAC semis since their time in the conference when they joined in 2014. Our second half gets underway. Justin Harmon puts the ball in play, and let's see what the Wolverines look like out of the break. Hit 6 of their last 6 field goals. Before that 3 was missed right at the end by Woodbury, but on the first possession, it's turned over, snatched away by Freddie.
We mentioned that Big AB only had 1 point, want to get him going in this second half, but you just can't throw one when he's not open. I think that got kicked.
They say no. That's Tarleton's Shamir Bogues thinking the same thing you did, Scott. But there was apparently no deflection, and Latrey Darthard is smiling as if to say maybe we got away with one.
I know he threw his shoe out there with the intention of kicking, and he's just not very good at kickball, I suppose.
That's why he's on the basketball court apparently for UVU. Knocked away, Freddie Hicks all the way. No, but a foul. He took a hard spill going down, playing with that taped left finger that's caused him to miss about a month of the season.
Yeah, did that back in December, but he tapes that up. But getting in that passing lane, getting that steal, we've seen a number of Texans now force those turnovers right at the mid-court line, and they are off to the races. And those extra little live ball plays have really kept them close.
You dealt with a similar finger injury to what Freddie Hicks has had to go through. How does that change the approach when you're on the floor?
Well, the good news for Freddie is it's not a shooting hand, right? So it's the left hand. So it's not going to affect your shot so much. It's the gathering of the basketball. It's the getting the rebounds. It's sometimes making a pass, and when you got guys on your shoulders and your forearms that you don't really have the hand strength in your left hand that you would like.
Pretty good stroke with the line, though. Hicks 2 for 2. Tarleton 8 of 10 as a team. Back to within a 5-point game. UVU led it by as many as 10 in the first half. Harmon, step back 3. Short, tips right to Lou Williams of Tarleton, and a nice box out for the Texans underneath.
Yeah, we saw this in the GCU game earlier. With a deficit going to the locker room, they came out like game busters. We were wondering if the Texans may be able to put together a similar type of run and snatch the lead away from the Wolverines.
Bogues, 5 in the shot clock. Bogues hangs and hits.
Wow, did he really knife through the defense, fought it up over 3 different guys, squeezed it in there off the glass to soften the shot, and we got ourselves a 1-possession ball game.
Bandego very quiet in the first half for UVU, just 1 point, 4 rebounds. Woodbury open for 3, puts it in.
He is hot as fish grease from behind the arc. His 4th 3-point shot on 6 attempts, if you count that heave right at the intermission.
You don't think playing in front of friends and family, his hometown in Vegas, doesn't mean anything for Woodbury?
It's the home cooking. You got some of mama's cooking, or some aunties or whatever, grandmas. He got himself a nice plate, and he's making it work.
Bad pass, saved, but right to Bandego. Hicks tried to keep it alive, and a chance for a 5-on-4 if UVU wants to push, but Bandego and Woodbury not on the same page.
No, Bandego ducked out of the way of the basketball like he thought that pass was intended to somebody else. He couldn't believe he was going to get it some 25 feet away from the basket. Woodbury thought he had a line and was they're really trying to get Bandego going to the point they have forced themselves into 2 turnovers here in the first 2.5 minutes of the second half.
On the back door, nice find. It's blocked from behind though, but they say a foul.
Well, got caught ball watching, did a nice job streaking behind the defense, and the delivery of the basketball here. Down bounce pass, down around the hip, where only he can get it away from the defender's arms and fingers. Great job of finishing with the contact. He'll have an opportunity to go to the line and take 2.
And that is Latrey Darthard's 3rd foul. Joins Tim Fuller with 3, and Darthard has to take a seat. So early it was all Tarleton. They had a boatload of early fouls, had 3 starters with 2 fouls right out of the gates, but first 2 players to get to 3 fouls, both on the Wolverine side.
Yeah, Tarleton doing a nice job getting themselves to the line. This is 7 of 9 from the free throw line right now with a chance to add to that total.
Lou Williams gets both, an excellent free throw shooter at 79%. It's a 4-point game as we get into this second half. 7-point lead at the break for UVU, but Tarleton has shown more defensive pressure. Looking for the trap, skip to Small. Nothing there. Finds Woodbury. Throwing away. More active hands as Smith pushes. Smith, big finish.
Well, he had to go up high, get that and went away from Bandego, but look at Trey Woodbury, like a blur the opposite direction, gets himself a chance to go to the line.
Out of nowhere, the pace, Scott. Here we go.
Oh, I love it. I love the activity here. The defense by Tarleton getting a couple steals, and they're off and running twice now. Smith lays that in. He loved it. Challenged the big man and just flipped it right up over his fingertips and in. But Trey Woodbury, they do not have an answer for Trey Woodbury offensively. From behind the arc, he's doing damage, and he's getting inside that painted area and earning trips to the stripe.
He was a big-time recruit out of Clark High School, a 4-star who went to UNLV, didn't play much as a freshman, but now a fifth-year senior, first-team All-WAC, and playing in his 108th career game tonight. Has gone over 1,000 career points, by the way, in this game tonight. Entered with 997. Williams resets on the drive. Smith up top for three. No, it's Woodbury there for the board. UVU loves to run. Bandego inside outside. Woodbury on the fake. Lobs it up. Oh, it had to be fairly tipped. We'll see who they give credit to, but regardless, the ball goes in for the Wolverines.
You had a couple Tarleton players thinking they were going to get a charge on Woodbury as he was coming down the lane at about 75 miles per hour, but he flips it over to his big guy. I thought he was going to dunk it, and somehow he caught, gathered, and laid it off a glass.
They said there was no contact, at least for now. They will give that bucket to Woodbury, so he has 20 tonight. Called for the charge. Bogues got too aggressive, and it's Trey Woodbury again.
He is doing it all. He is deep into his bag on both the offense and the defensive side.
Have a night, Trey Woodbury, the Las Vegas native out of Clark High School. 20 points to lead the Wolverines, doing it on the defensive end as well as we hit a break. Wolverines by 6 with 16 to play in our third quarterfinal of the day.
In order to know where you're going, it helps to know where you've been. Introducing the Embraer 175. At Abilene Regional Airport, now you can look forward to the journey, not just the destination. Come fly with us. Abilene Regional Airport.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela burns it. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
Head coach Billy Gillespie talked to me out of the break, and he said he didn't really like much of what Tarleton did in that first half. He said we had big breakdowns defensively. We're getting crushed on the boards, 16-10. We're not rotating properly. Offensively, he said we're getting good looks, but we're not making enough smart decisions. Ben?
Thanks, Kendra. A lot for big Billy Gillespie and Tarleton to figure out, especially when it comes to Trey Woodbury, who is already approaching a season high with 20 points tonight. Season high 24 for the fifth-year senior. Woodbury on the floor right now along with Blaze Neal, who runs point for UVU. Caesar looks for some help and throws it away. That's the one area, Scott, where Tarleton's been able to stay in the game. Up underneath, big rejection. Tim Caesar gets all ball.
Well, you make a bad play on one, and you better come back and make up for it on the other. And Caesar did just that. Didn't hang his head after a very lackadaisical pass. He hustled back on defense and got a big rejection.
Daniel on the nice pass. Oh, it's good, and one. Bogues gets crunched over the chest as he gets the finish, and will go to the line. A chance to make it a one-possession game.
But you can't let the ball go that low into the block there. He caught that with both feet planted in the painted area. It's just a simple turn to the bucket, no hesitation, doesn't bring it down, doesn't put it on the floor. With all those drills you work on in practice, all that time you spend in the weight room, power it strong to the basket, absorb that contact and get the three-point play. Hey, we got ourselves a three-point game.
For all the struggles for Billy Gillespie's team, less than 45% from the field, only 1-3 so far. It's a three-point game. The defense has been a big reason why, forcing 13 turnovers. Bandego on the lob. Ethan Potter has just come in for Utah Valley, deep off the bench, as Woodbury gets tripped on his way inside.
Yeah, and they needed that bucket. They needed Trey Woodbury with those 20 points to use his intelligence and realize, hey, they're starting to trim into our large lead. We got to get something going to the basket.
Bandego just the 1 point so far. The 7-footer using the power, but the touch a little short. Good D by Smith.
Smith really did a nice job using his lower center of gravity and not allowing the length of Bandego. Oh, no.
Oh, push off. It's Hicks who's called for the charge, his second personal.
The Wolverines do a nice job on the initial defense. You got to move that basketball around several times to gain an advantage against them.
Tarleton does show that full court pressure. It's been all Trey Woodbury, but Scott, outside of him, not been a really reliable scorer. So where do you look to now if you're Mark Madsen, understanding how that adjustment's going to happen on the other side?
I like Harmon and I like Darther getting in there and attacking the basket. They had some success in that first half going inside and getting to the free throw line. They've gotten away from it. Everyone's standing around and watching the Woodbury show. Another turnover.
Another one. Here comes Smith. Lays it in. It's a 1-point game. Under 15 to go.
Well, we talked about it. This team is human nature. You got yourself you were up 10 points in the first half. You take a 7-point lead to the locker room. You come out lackadaisical with the basketball. These live ball turnovers are just killing the Wolverines.
Harmon with the answer. You said you wanted him. He shows out on that drive.
Well, he has got such strong upper body strength, broad shoulders. He can take the corner on these defenders. It's like he plants a foot and gains an advantage and just knifes his way and wills himself to the basket.
Feels like we have about 3:45 to go instead of 13:45. The intensity ratcheting it up.
It's what you love about March, right, baby? You gotta love it, right, Benny?
Daniel on the kick. 3 off the mark on a good look by Gaddy in the corner. Actually, Daniel that time on the corner. 3, and it's rebounded by UVU, playing without Latrey Darthard on the bench with 3 fouls. On the double. It's thrown away, and another UVU turnover. That is 15 already.
Getting real sloppy and loose with the basketball. It seems to be that they are getting themselves along the sidelines or with the ball deep in the corners, and they don't know how to get it out. And they're trying these long, slow, lofty passes that are just getting snatched by the Texans and taking the opposite direction.
I mean, you were open, Scott, but you retired, what, 15 years ago?
I would have caught it if it got to me.
Almost did. On the back down, Hicks outside. 3 from Smith. Around and out. Rebound to Potter, the freshman off the bench, getting some big minutes with his team in foul trouble.
You know, I know Smith can make those shots from behind the arc, but his bread and butter lies down there along that block.
Neal on the lob. It's Fuller blocked. Gets it back. Can't score. Great defense again, despite the size disadvantage for Tarleton.
I think Fuller rushed him a little bit. He tried to use his length and his quickness when he could have used his power and his strength.
Hicks back to work. Blocked. Got it back. Hicks. No. Underneath. Smith. No. Another big stand defensively.
You can't tell me both these teams don't want it. Harmon on the run.
Oh, it's in. And one, Justin Harmon.
Justin Harmon. When he gets that basketball, he is like a bull in a china shop going 75 feet with speed and precision and just power. Look at him just take on all comers and then so crafty around the rim. That's a thing of beauty right there. Put that on a reel.
Third foul on Smith in the process as well. So you get Smith, Bogues, and Williams all with 3 now for Tarleton, while UVU has had to play with Fuller and Darthard each picking up 3 now for some time.
Yeah, and Smith and Booker have been their big offensive punches off the glass. It's something to watch here. We got a ton of time left in this basketball game. It feels like it's crunch time, but really with 12-18 to go, a lot of time left. So those guys are going to have to watch picking up their 4th fouls.
Harmon connects on the and one. 13 for Harmon. How do you respond if you're Tarleton on this set?
Lock in, don't give them anything inside. I think they're, you know, Tarleton's really struggling. If you're the Wolverines, you want to lock in, don't give them anything on the inside. But meanwhile, Tarleton, to answer your question, has to go inside. They got to get something along that paint.
Smith, the drive, bumping, grinding, and scores.
Well, that's where he gains an advantage, right? He knows he's got the strength over Bandago to just put a shoulder into him, get the big fella moving backwards towards that baseline.
Neal, lob's not close to finding Bandago, and it's taken away by Tiger Booker. Williams on the fake. The shimmy inside. They say blocking foul. Bandago called for the foul.
Good position, but inside that restricted area, when that contact occurs, it's going to be on the defense every time.
Oh boy. 11:32 to go. Hold on to your horses. Going to be another good finish at WAC Vegas. Wolverines by 4, but Tarleton cutting into the deficit.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around. Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around. Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see our guy.
Targets are on site.
It's all here as we discussed.
Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
Nice.
Blaze Nield is the co-founder of what is now known as the Powder League, a summer pro-am featuring teams loaded with current and former college studs and even some NBA players. When I asked why Nield started the league, he said it's a competitive opportunity, looking for guys who are like-minded, wanting to play in competitive matchups. Nield has been a big part of getting this thing off the ground, meeting with potential investors, recruiting players, scheduling, designing jerseys, and coordinating live streams of games. He also is involved in getting the event sanctioned by the NCAA. He said the experience has allowed him to develop business skills and learn how to find solutions. Ben?
Thanks, Kendra. It's really cool. I'm checking my notes. The guy's what, early 20s? I mean, seriously?
So cool, right? Yeah. Wise beyond his age for sure, and having a heck of a game tonight as well. He's 3 of 4 for 8 points.
He's on the bench right now as we're back underway. A big distinction to note, there was a foul change while we were in break. They credited a foul. It was changed from Ja'Cory Smith to Shamir Bogues for Tarleton as the Texans go 1 of 2 at the line. That's huge because Bogues now has 4 fouls as he starts this sequence on the bench. Darthard back in with 3. On the slash, draws contact, and it's Hicks who picks up his 3rd.
Yeah, Darthard just putting the pressure on the defense, right? So another smart player like Woodbury, a few possessions before that. Darthard realizing they're cutting to that deficit. It's only a 1-possession game. He puts his head down and earns a strip to the strike.
That foul puts Tarleton over the limit, so for the final 11+ minutes, UVU will be in at least 1-1. As Darthard, the best free throw shooter on the team at 89%, gets the first, and a lot for Billy Gillespie to try to sort out. But look, Scott, he's been through the wars. This is a guy who's coached to 179 career combined wins. Most of them before his stop here at Tarleton were at the Power 5 level.
Yeah, his palms don't sweat. He's seen a lot of these types of games. He realizes with 11 minutes left on that clock, he's got plenty of time to get his guys back in front.
Hicks fakes, drives, he lost the ball on the way up. Fuller picks it up for UVU.
I think he had some help. I think one of the Wolverines got a hand on that.
Woodbury for 3. No, Bandego is called for the push-off.
Well, I didn't see it, but Bandego's been doing work on the weak side glass all night long, and there was a Tarleton defender down there underneath him when he got that ball some 11 feet off the ground.
His type tonight continues. 3rd foul on Bandego. 1.04 from the field for a guy averaging a double-double. That big 55 in white sets up shop in the middle of the defensive paint. Smith, 10 on the clock. Fumbled the ball, gets it back, blocked, comes back to Smith, and he lost it.
Great job underneath there by Fuller using his length on Smith. He couldn't body him like he wanted to.
Harmon throws it up. Maybe wanted Bandego to come at that ball. Instead, it hits the side of the backboard.
I think they're trying to force it too much to Bandego here in the first 10 minutes of this first half, and it has derailed their offense.
Williams picks up the pivot, floater, way short, picked up by Woodbury. Both teams exchanging empty possessions.
Yeah, and I thought Fuller came over after a poor shot, and he got a piece of that, caused that air ball.
Woodbury, the little shoulder shake. Harmon all the way, nice move and finish.
I thought he was gonna have to go all the way to the left side of the floor, but again, he is so quick with his cuts and sharp with them, he still finished on the right side of the basket.
26th time Harmon has reached double figures in his 32nd game of the year. Tarleton desperate for an answer, down 7 after trimming the lead a few minutes ago, down to 3. 5 on the clock for Booker. Inside, no good defense, both by Harmon and Bandego, but it's taken away, blocked by Fuller.
Well, again, lackadaisical. Fuller does a great job with Bandago, stopping him at the rim. Gets the basketball, simple outlet pass to your guard, and you just give it away. I don't understand why they're not more cautious with the ball after they see it and themselves lose it time and time again.
Quick pick and pop, a little strong. Bogues on the catch and shoot, board to Bandago.
That's one thing the big fella has been doing nicely tonight. 6 rebounds in his basketball game for the big 55.
Harmon, the hot hand, the lob, oh, it's in! Bandago finally gets one to drop.
About 1 of 6 on trying to get that high handoff.
Tarleton goes quickly as it's deflected by Bandago. 6-0 run over the last 2 minutes. Tarleton, one of their last 10 from the field goal area over this last stretch, as we remind you that the ESPN Tournament Challenge app is back. If you scan the QR code and download the app to play the #1 bracket game, create a group, invite your friends, get ready for the madness. Sign up for the ESPN Tournament Challenge today to test your bracketology knowledge.
Are we allowed to play in that?
I mean, I'm doing this read, so I assume that means yes. We're good, Scott. You want to go mano-a-mano this year?
Yeah, I'll put my bracket up against your bracket, Ben, for sure. And I love this one right here, right? So they've been trying to get this one to the big fella all night long, and finally he's able to get good position before the defense can push him up underneath the basket with his length and force that one through.
You know, had that not popped out, he would have started thinking, what's going on here? Just not my night. But the irony of what you said a second ago, Scott, about UVU maybe forcing the ball too much to Bandago. Bandago is replacing a former WAC Player of the Year in Fardaz Amac. And the big criticism of UVU with Amac in the past couple seasons was that sometimes the offense would get way too condensed. They would try to go through him sometimes on moments where it was not really the right play to do optimally. So you try to avoid that as well with Bandago. In the meantime, it's a 9-point lead, and we will go to break. UVU on top.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around. Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
Game on. Game on.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Game on. When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
Back underway in Las Vegas. A nice drive out of the timeout. Pretty move by Freddie Hicks. Just what Tarleton need to snap a 3-minute scoring drought.
You would think Coach Gillespie would have something dialed up to get himself a high percentage shot. He did just that.
And a steal. Foul. And it's going on Harmon after Smith takes it away. Second on Harmon as UVU now goes over the limit.
I think that was the 6th, Ben. So
yep.
It would be side out of bounds. And
one more now, they're over the limit, yep.
Yeah, but they they will be kicking themselves if they don't finish the deal here tonight with all these live ball turnovers right here at the midcourt stripe.
That's 18 now for UVU. Each team into the 1-and-1 for the rest of the game. Poked away, steal right back. Watch out, here comes Bandago, but he's fouled.
Yeah, Freddie Higgs trying to run him down from behind. The big fella was looking to slam that one down for his second field goal here in about the last 2 minutes, but not giving up on the play. Higgs just goes there and slaps him across the forearm, but the live ball turnover's been hurting the Wolverines, and when they needed to get one themselves, they caused the turnover and they were off to the races. Now can the big fella go to the line and knock down 2 free throws?
It looks like they will review this for a potential flagrant. Looked pretty clean to us. You're throwing up the hands. I am doing the same thing, Scott. Looked like just a hard foul. You know, the interesting distinction, though, it's if you're Freddie Hicks, do you take that foul, present the easy dunk, force Bandago to earn it at the line, or
yes,
or do you let him go knowing that you have 3 fouls, and by taking it now you have 4 and we still have 10 to go? So it becomes tough, right?
You take the foul. Even if you got to give one up and play a little softer on the defensive end, you have to send the big fella line and make him make 2. This is all or nothing. You're down 7. You can't afford just to let the big fella slam and go down by 9.
They're still reviewing this, by the way. We would both be stunned if they were to upgrade it.
I'm from a little bit older generation of basketball. Yes, it's a foul to prevent a basket. There's nothing intentional about trying to hurt that young man. They didn't hit him in the head. He didn't hit him above the shoulders. He got him on the arm. We want to see this pace going.
And it is just a common foul. So thanks to our officiating crew, Brent Moe, Mark Beasley, Randy Heimerman. Took a look just to make sure, but they will stick with the common foul. You know, Billy Gillespie was about to unload had they changed it. As we will step aside, take another break. UVU by 7 with 8 minutes to go.
It's not always easy being the exception.
Tarleton Texans know how to get things done. From building businesses, to transforming classrooms, to evolving scientific understanding. As a Tarleton Texan, you gather more than knowledge. You gain know-how. In your career or in your community, find out how you can go beyond what you think is possible and make an impact that will change the world. Learn more by visiting tarleton.edu.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
Back in Las Vegas with a look at head coach Mark Madsen on the UVU sideline. Kendra Sheehan, our reporter, has something for us as we send it back to Kendra.
Thanks, Ben. Justin Harmon was a big calming presence in that huddle, saying, everybody, breathe, relax. It's just 8 minutes left on the clock. When head coach Mark Madsen stepped in, he said, listen, no more turnovers for the rest of the game. We got to understand our defensive matchups. We're in the bonus, so be smart with the basketball. Hold on to it. This is where we need to separate ourselves. Ben?
You love that message, Scott, for Coach Madsen.
I love it. It's not going to happen. No turnovers the rest of the game. This Tarleton team is too tough defensively, but I like his mindset. I love the way the big fella went to the line after the timeout and stroked those 2 free throws.
And thanks again, Kendra. Bogues on the drive and kick. Smith, wide open 3, buries it. Big answer for Tarleton.
Well, here I've been saying I want Smith down on that block, and then he roams out to that 3-point line, but that time he had a real clean look, and he stroked it.
38 points for Smith in the WAC tournament. Did not have a game over 19 all season. Woodbury, drive and kick. The answer for Harmon for 3. It's good!
Well, Harmon tying his season high with 21 points. He has been really hot inside and now knocking down a triple.
Can Tarleton counter? Have never trailed by more than 10. Bogues, he cannot. Good look, but couldn't finish.
Yeah, a $10 move, but a 10-cent shot. He got a little lackadaisical right at the rim with it. Didn't get it up high enough onto the square. I think Madsen got a timeout.
Utah Valley takes a 30-second timeout. They and Tarleton each will have 2 remaining as Justin Harmon comes over to the UVU bench. And 7:10 to go, 9-point lead for UVU.
That's a good look at Harmon working hard tonight, leading all players and scoring now with 21 points. It's been the Harmon-Woodbury show, mostly Woodbury in the first half. Harmon really picking it up here in the second half. Candace's second 3-pointer. He's 2 of 3 from behind the arc. He's 9 of 13 shooting. And tell me this young man doesn't want it.
No doubt.
He's trying to get to the semis.
Yeah, I give you a lot of credit. When Woodbury had 20, we thought, all right, surely Billy Gillespie's going to adjust for Tarleton, make it harder on Woodbury. And you said, get the ball to Harmon's hands, and that's exactly how UVU's transitioned.
Yeah, Darther hasn't had it tonight, right? But luckily for Mark Madsen and his staff there, it has been Harmon stepping up big time here. This next 4 or 5 minutes is crucial for Tarleton to try to make a move. Can the Wolverines hold them back?
Harmonton comes out of the game for now. Darthard back in, on the ball. Darthard all the way!
Well, when you needed a bucket, right? So Darthard goes right back inside. Great use of the 30-second timeout by Mark Madsen. Puts his team up double digits where they haven't been in quite some time.
Hicks, the drive, blocked, big play, but it comes right back to Daniel. Hicks, again he's swatted.
The big fella says, you shall not pass. 2 blocks on 1 play. It's the Stones, Tarleton, Texas.
Blocks number 89 and 90 on the season in rapid succession for Aziz Mendego. On the inbound, again! He swats it a 3rd time! Are you serious?
He's just showing off at this point.
Woodbury, the lob! Oh!
Doing it on both ends. 55 is going to get an extra peanut butter and jelly sandwich in his post-game bag. That was very nice. 3 great defensive plays, and then runs the floor, uses his wheels, and I love that. Rewarding the big man for his defensive work.
Daniel, desperate for a bucket, can't hit. It's all unraveling for Tarleton. Largest lead of the night for the Wolverines.
It really is, and this time they're going to walk it down. They got 5:45 to play. Use a little clock. Make sure they don't turn that basketball over like Coach Madsen said.
Kneeled with 8. The high screen from Fuller. On the slip. Nice pass. Bandego again. How about Aziz Bandego in the second half?
I love the high post passing there down to the low post. Big to bigs. Always one of my favorites as a former big guy. And I like the little funk dunk by 55. Letting out a little frustration offensively. Almost wanted to take the rim home with him tonight. We got another game, big man.
Can Booker and Tarleton end the 9-0 run? Booker, no. Darthard the rebound.
Yeah, and this thing's at 15, and they're looking to try to take it to 18 or 20 in the next couple possessions, and that would spell doom for Tarleton as that clock is getting short. They need one of those steals that they had, those live ball turnovers that get them an easy bucket, because they can't do anything right on the offensive end with Big 55 waiting down there to swat their shots away.
4 on the clock. Neal stops, lobs, short, desperately needed stop. 9-0 run right now for UVU as Tarleton comes forward.
Yeah, I don't mind that shot. Used a lot of the shot clock, and they got back on defense and balance.
On the spin, Hicks blocked but fouled. And finally, Tarleton's able to slow things down and get to the line with the stop clock.
Right, they need a collective breath, right? Both physically and emotionally after what they've been experiencing on the offensive end. Just shot block after shot block by the big fellas, Fuller and Bandego underneath, doing a really good job being human road blocks and stopping all that inside Tarleton attack.
Just seems like after Bandego got that little alley-oop that went all the way around the rim, finally dropped, it just unlocked something different in him. He's been a machine in the second half. Now 9 points, 5 boards, 3 blocks.
It's amazing what that visualization of seeing that ball go through the rim, especially with a power slam.
13-point lead, Utah Valley. Under 4 to play. Spot in the semis on the line. Corner 3 off the mark. Tipped a little short by Bandego. On the hesitation, Booker, no! Tipped all the way out as far as Smith. Goes right at Bandego, is denied again. This defense has gone up a whole nother level for UVU.
I think Bandego's figured out Smith's coming right to my shoulder. I got to be real forceful, take that blow, and then stay on balance, wait for him to shoot, and then swat it away. Did an excellent job that time. And look at the Mark Madsen telling his bunch, milk that clock.
Neal again, kneeled, finds Bandego. 5 on the shot clock. Bandego, not on the touch. Fuller, no, again. Cabe comes up with it for Smith. Tarleton desperate to get a quick bucket.
I like Fuller down there on that glass. He didn't come up with all of them, but he goes every time. And that has a coach that makes you proud. Like, I teach my bigs to go to the basket. The more they go, the more they can.
But again, Tarleton just cannot find the finishes up tight. Hicks this time misses, and it allows more time to go off the clock.
Yeah, but it's Bandego again. He altered that shot. He didn't block it, but he altered it just enough. He had to slip it too high, and it comes off, slips off the front of the rim.
At what point, if you're Tarleton, do you go into that trap game? Looks like now, Neal tried to slip on the low bounce. Instead, it's taken away. 19th turnover of the night. In transition, Smith for 3, had to have that one, but it won't go.
No, and that's a backbreaker right there, because now you're going to allow, if you're not going to foul, you're going to allow the Wolverines to take a lot more time off of that game clock.
UVU, the best free throw shooting team in the conference as well, makes things really tough now for Tarleton. On the 3, it's Darthard who cashes it down.
Well, when they really needed it, they went to the horses. Woodbury and Darthard, Harmon, and even Bandego on both sides, offensively and defensively. 16 points under 2 minutes ago. It's looking like this one is going to be enough to send the Wolverines into the next round.
Amazing how fast it has happened as we go to break. From a 3-point game about the halfway mark of the second half to UVU up 16 with under 2 to play.
Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico...
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
Targets are on site.
It's all here as we discussed.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see our guy.
Targets are on site.
It's all here as we discussed.
Targets are on site.
It's all here as we discussed.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see our guy.
Targets are on site.
It's all here as we discussed.
Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around. Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
Week 4 kicks off Saturday on FX and Sunday on ESPN2.
It was a slow start for Aziz Bandago, but the UVU center has found himself down the stretch.
He's had himself a block party here in this second half, just taking on all comers, swatting shot after shot, and then getting down and using his wheel in transition for the dunks. And I love that one. A little high-low from his other big Fuller, and he throws it in reverse and slams it down with 2 hands. And did you see the intensity on his face? That kid wants this basketball game.
Part of a defensive stretch for Utah Valley, where they've limited Tarleton to 2 of 17 from the field, 10 straight misses for the Texans. And at this point, with 1:47 to go, you just feel like not enough time now for Tarleton, unless UVU just completely melts down on the offensive end, which only 1 turnover since Mark Madsen told his team at the huddle, and Arkender Sheehan picked it up very, very nicely, so that he didn't want any more turnovers the rest of the way. Only 1 since about the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, he laid down the law. Take care of the basketball. You're never going to get no turnovers in the final 10 minutes at a college level, even the pro level for that matter. But just the message is sent in the way he delivered it. Take better care of the basketball. That was what was getting them in trouble in the early part of the second half when they saw that deficit trimmed to 3 points. But I'm really proud. I didn't even know the big fella, Bandago, and I'm really proud the way he stuck with it when he was struggling in that first half. Just 1 point, 4 rebounds, no block shots. He's kept his head in the game, and he really delivered for his team down the stretch.
How can UVU keep the pressure on without turning the ball over? Woodbury to an open 3. Darthur, no, it's a Bandago party in the second half. Another flush.
He has dominated along with Harmon. I've done a really nice job controlling both sides of the paint.
And we'll get a review after a deflection out of bounds. Utah Valley thinking that did not hit any of the Wolverine defenders. Billy Gillespie not happy, and that's the hard part when you try to make a run without that first-round bye. If you're Tarleton, now the benefit of this year's tournament is you get the day off in between, but has Tarleton run out of gas a little bit down the stretch? As we bring you our Hercules Tires strong move of the game. Hercules Tires, right on our strength. I have one guess as to who our strong move will feature. Oh, I was right. I got it, Scott.
Yeah, Big 55 is doing his darn thing down here, patrolling defensively. He has been that cop on the beat, telling those Texans they shall not come in the paint. This is a beehive state down here in this painted area. Got to give it to Big AB tonight. He has shown out here in the second half.
Now, the WAC Defensive Player of the Year and Newcomer of the Year has made his presence felt, especially in the second half. The transfer from Akron, who was not a starter in his 2 years for the Zips, but has come into Orem, Utah, part of Mark Madsen's UVU program, and absolutely excelled. As UVU now 123 away from advancing to the WAC semifinals for the first time since 2019. They've never made it to the WAC championship game. In a year that is perceived, Scott, to be so wide open in the top really 4 or 5, this could very well be the year for UVU.
Well, if they play the way they played here in the second half, it's hard to say they won't find themselves in that championship game, possibly hoisting that trophy. Doing it on the D, really tightened it up on Tarleton, keeping them under 60 points for the basketball game, and offensively getting high percentage shots with the big fella down low, getting clean looks behind the arc as well.
As the officials continue to review this in or out of bounds call. By the way, no field goals for Tarleton now, going all the way back to the 8:59 mark of the game. Wow.
Well, they were struggling to shoot it from distance in the first half, right? So just 1 of 4 from behind the arc. They thought, well, okay, if we can't hit the outside shots, let's go inside, which, well, now you're going right into the teeth of that Wolverines defense. And Fuller and Bandego and a number of other guys have really posed a impossible task to overcome as they have locked down that painted area.
And UVU gets the overturn as well. So they say it did not hit off Woodbury, the Wolverine defender. Wolverine ball, 16-point lead as Tarleton desperately tries to trap. And Darthard will see his coach Mark Madsen take a timeout as he got stuck. Madsen using one of his final 2 timeouts with 1:16 remaining. So not wanting to put up anything to chance in an elimination game, 16-point spot.
Yeah, it's more of a teaching moment, I think, for Madsen at this point, right? Because he's going to get pressure. The game may be tighter in the semifinal matchup. What did we not execute right there in our press break? Why did you pick that basketball up? Where were your outlets at? So he's just trying to coach his basketball up for his basketball team up for the next game.
Here's the 2023 Coach of the Year, Mark Madsen, who's just done such an outstanding job. 20 wins each of the last 2 seasons. This would be win 25 for UVU if they're able to hang on. And they've done it on the backs of a whole lot of veterans. 4 returning starters from last year, 4 seniors, 5 guys with at least 100 games or more at the D1 level. Harmon has it deflected out of bounds. Give credit to Tarleton, still fighting hard.
Oh, yeah, Coach Gillespie's team, they're going to go all 40 minutes, you know that. And I like the way Woodbury came out. He set the tone for this game early on. Came out early, knocked down a bunch of points, drove the ball to the basket, knocked it down from the outside. He told these guys on how we're going to play. We're going to be aggressive. They're going to attack and beat us with our best shot, not playing tentative, not trying to wait for the second half. He was a leader tonight, and the rest of the guys followed his lead right out of that locker room in the second half, and they have put it to the Texans here for the last 20 minutes.
It is Woodbury who goes to the line. He loves playing here at Orleans Arena. Had a career-high 34 points 2 years ago. A Herculean effort in a loss to New Mexico State for UVU. Made his season debut here last year since he missed all the regular season with a knee injury, and has come out with one of his best games of the year tonight. 21 points, just a couple off the season high. Goes 1 of 2, gives UVU a 17-point lead. Smith strong on a 3. The beat goes on for Tarleton as there's a travel on Darthard after he picked up that rebound, so it does go back to the Texans.
Yeah, I think Matt should be okay with that turnover there as he went high for the basketball, just lost his balance and had to go to the ground. I think he rolled over. It's what the officials whistled him for. But I'll tell you what, I got to tip my hat to these Wolverines. They didn't look particularly sharp. There's a bucket inside by Boak, but they stayed with their game plan. Didn't splinter one bit, stayed united as a team, and they're going to get this victory.
Well, the reality is, in today's era of college basketball, it's so hard to be a transitioning team where you come in, you know the expectations of performance right away, and especially when you have to recruit guys who know they can't go to the NCAA tournament. Yet Billy Gillespie was able to get guys to follow him from Ranger Community College, where he last coached, into Stephenville, Texas, and Tarleton State. And after a couple of years knocking on the door of going 500, they get over that hump this year. Their first year eligible for WAC tournament play. Feels like something really nice to build on for next season.
Almost certainly, and they can take this learning experience with them into the off season with conditioning and training and skill work, and they'll be hungry and motivated to improve to make a deeper run a season from now.
Projected to get 4 of the 5 key contributors back as well. Hicks, Bogues, Williams, Smith still all have eligibility for next year. Utah Valley up 15, breaks the pressure. Bandego gets grabbed underneath. As he goes back to the line, Hicks takes the foul, and he is done. A couple of great tournament games for Freddie Hicks. Tough to see his season end, but after an 18.8 rebound effort Tuesday night in the first round win over UTRGV, he fouls out with 10 points and 8 rebounds.
Yeah, he was our pick to click, just couldn't get enough going offensively, and he had so much defensive pressure inside, but a good tournament for Freddie Hicks. And Bandago going to the line here. I think that was the 9th foul. So he was shooting the 1-on-1. I thought maybe it might have been the double bonus, but he's got such a nice stroke from the line. I don't think it matters to him. He's confident when he steps to the line.
Knocks down the free throw. The WAC Newcomer of the Year, along with his Coach of the Year, Mark Madsen, just giving that award along with the Newcomer of the Year for Bandago. 3 Wolverines in the starting lineup, first team all-conference. Will advance to tomorrow night's late semifinal against either Utah Tech or Southern Utah, our night game coming up. So regardless, it's going to be an all-Utah late semi on a Friday night in Vegas. Final attempt for Booker. There's the Trout. It finally ends. First field goal in nearly 9 minutes. Final timeout used by Billy Gillespie.
It took a while, and obviously Wolverines not wanting to try to block a shot and commit a foul. They want to try to keep that clock going, force the Tarleton Texans to take a timeout. But again, I'm pretty sure Coach Gillespie realized he ain't got a 14-point strategy with 25 seconds to go, but another teaching point for his club that you mentioned is going to return just a ton of players next year.
And Tarleton, who had a long history at the D2 level of success, made a pair of Division II Final Fours, once in 2005, the next one in 2015. So they've had relatively recent success. Won the Lone Star Conference tournament back in 2014 as well. So next year will be their last year as a transitioning school, so they still won't be eligible for the NCAA tournament, but will be eligible to play in the WAC tournament and any other postseason, so they could go to the NIT or any other league that gives them an invite next season. Something I think everybody involved with college basketball, Scott, is hoping gets abolished, that rule. When you see teams like Merrimack, who wins the NEC, but they're ineligible for the tournament, it's seemingly too harsh of a rule for these reclassifying teams. And we hope that we don't have to have this conversation in years forward.
Well, they're making so many rules changes. I think that this is one that will get changed eventually.
No doubt. 14-point game with Utah Valley set to re-inbounds, and it's a Utah Valley team who went through this as well. Division I for the first time back in 2004, have never made it to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I was with Grand Canyon the year they had the same sort of deal, 4 years not being eligible for the tournament.
They go baseball pass to Harmon. Harmon lays it in. Justin Harmon with 23, a new season high.
Well, Woodbury looking like Aaron Rodgers with that pass over the top of the defense.
Another drive for Tiger Booker. It's been a nice effort for Booker off the bench, 10 points. And it looks like Tarleton will call off the Dogs, 72-58, as Utah Valley saw things tighten up early in the second half, but they use a mega surge down the stretch to win by 14 and advance to their first WAC semifinal in 3 years.
It really was the defensive effort. Did Tarleton get tired having had to play on Tuesday night? I don't think so. They had the day off on Wednesday. I got to give credit to the Wolverines. The big fella inside just stopped and changed a lot of shots around